Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video, and the day has finally come. Nintendo has finally given in and released a mobile game for the iPhone. Now, I've always said if Nintendo decided to develop games for smartphones, they would be at the top of the industry. Now, this is really Nintendo's third release for Android and iOS. Although the first was fairly limited and somewhat short-lived, the second release was a massive success, becoming one of, if not the most successful mobile games ever. But with this third release, it takes a more traditional approach to the gaming market. Alright, so launching into the main screen of the game here, you'll see you have a few options here. You have your friends list up at the top here where you can add friends. Right now I don't have really any because I haven't linked my Nintendo account or my Twitter account or Facebook account, but in theory you can link a bunch of those things and find friends that way. Now, up in the other corner here, you have Link, which is what I was talking about before. You can link your Nintendo ID with this, so if you have an ID, you can link it. Otherwise, you can create one. And what that'll basically let you do is unlock Toad as a playable character, and also let you save your progress. So if you delete the game and reinstall it later, it will remember where you left off. Now, up across the top here, you see you have three things. You have your Toad Rally tickets, and I'll show you in a minute just what Toad Rally is. You have the amount of toads that have been added back into your Mushroom Kingdom, which you earn through Toad Rally, which again I'll show you in a moment. And then you have your coins, which you earn throughout playing the tour, and you use those to decorate your Mushroom Kingdom and add buildings to it. So you can see in the middle here, this whole thing is your Mushroom Kingdom. Now, down in the bottom right here, you see you have a build option here where you can put away, you can move, you can place, and then the shop. So if we go into the shop here, you'll see you can buy decorations like flowers and sorts. In here you can buy buildings, so you can place more houses for things, you can place warp pipes, you can place stuff like that. And then here are some of the more important things. So you can buy rainbows eventually, which will allow you to expand your Mushroom Kingdom into new areas when you fill this one up. And a bunch of other things that I haven't really unlocked and I haven't gotten into a whole lot, so I can't tell you much about them. But you basically place them in your Mushroom Kingdom around here. So if we hit move here, you can see you have options to move these kind of things around. So you can relocate. All of those are open places. For as far as the decorations are concerned, you can place them pretty much anywhere around here and just make it look the way you want it. It's kind of a more social, interactive feature, kind of like Animal Crossing in a way where you can decorate your village. Then in the bottom left here, you have the menu button, which is fairly self-explanatory. You have settings here, which will let you change a few of the settings. There's not an awful lot to do. You can change your name and your picture as well, and you can also take those from your Nintendo ID if you link them. And then you have your notebook here, which basically shows you your characters and your enemies, and you can see when you defeat enemies, you level them up. So here you see I have 135 of 200 Goombas, so when I hit 200, I will then earn more coins for each one I kill. So you want to try to get as many of the enemies as high level as possible in order to earn more coins while playing the game. So at the bottom here you see you have your two game modes. We're going to show you Tour right now, and this is a very Mario style thing here. You have 6 worlds, each with 3 levels, and then a castle at the end. Now, when you first install the game, you are only going to get a tutorial level, these 3 levels in World 1, and a 20-second trial of the first castle. So you're definitely not going to get the full experience unless you pay the $9.99 to unlock the full game. But it is fairly nice that they give you a trial period to really get a feel for the game before you spend that kind of money on it. So now jumping into a level here, you will see you have colored coins scattered throughout the level, which when you start off, you'll have pink coins everywhere. They're pretty easy to get, and once you get all 5 of them, you will get a bonus, and then you'll move on to collecting purple coins. Now those will be even harder to find, they'll be hidden better, and there'll be 5 of those once again. Now once you get all of those, you'll move on to the green coins, which are even more hidden, and those are basically the 3 tiers. So you might look at it and say, well, there's only like 24 levels, right? So I'm going to run through it pretty quickly, but this is definitely how you get your money's worth out of it. If you're willing to go back through each level multiple times and collect the coins, it will definitely take you quite a while. It does get quite challenging. Now you will see you have your best, meaning how many coins you've gotten. You'll see your friends down here, and you can swap characters right at the bottom here if you want to switch that before you start. So if we jump right into a level here, you'll see it's very Nintendo. It's a very familiar art style. Obviously it's going for the whole Mario style, and basically he will just run and you just tap. That's pretty much all you have to do, and he will jump over small obstacles like these Goombas here. You'll see there are pause blocks where you will have to actually make him run. But aside from that, he just continuously runs, and you tap the screen in order to jump. Now, the longer you hold it, the higher he'll jump, and when he's in the air, you can hit it again in order to spin, which will hold him up a little longer. Now, depending on the character you have, it will do slightly different things. For instance, Peach, you can hold, and she basically glides down to the ground very slowly. Now, obviously, you're trying to get to the end without dying. You're also trying to collect coins, and like I said, you can go for the purple and pink and whatever coins if you want. But the levels are fairly easy. Now again, like most Mario games, you do have a wide variety of levels to choose from. Now, all of which are quite significantly different than most of the others. You see, you have a completely different style with completely different enemies and completely different dangers. Now, as you can see, when you die, you will be put in a bubble. Now, that will basically float you back as far as you want. See if I die again. I have 2 bubbles up at the top there that I can use. Now, if I die another time, I will be forced to start completely over. Now, you can stay in the bubble as long as you want, and it will just take you back further and further throughout the level, so you can basically choose where you want to start. Now, if we look at the top here, you'll see you have the pause button, you have your time, so you are timed how long you are allowed to do this, which basically limits how much you're allowed to die, and how much aimless coin hunting you're allowed to do before the level just ends. Now you can see how many coins you got, and then you can see up in the corner there how many of the pink coins I have found. So you see that guy's holding one up at the top there, and they'll be hidden in blocks, they'll be hidden just in plain sight, and some you'll even have to kill people to get. So trying to hunt those down can be fairly difficult, like I mentioned, but it is a really nice challenge, and it really adds to the value of the game. Now you can tap on the bubble button at the top up here. If you just miss something and you want to go back, you don't actually have to die in order to be put in the bubble. It just automatically does it when you die. So now the second main game mode here is Toad Rally. So if we click on this here, you see basically join by picking an opponent. You do use a rally ticket each time you join. So if we click on a person here, you'll see who you're matched up against. And the idea here is you basically run for as long as the time gives you. You run until it ends. You can run as far as you want or as short as you want, depending on how fast you go. And the idea here is to collect coins and get style points by performing tricks and such over the blocks and enemies that you jump over. So you see it's basically like a ghost race here with my opponent, and you're trying to both make as many toads cheer for you as you can. So you see at the bottom here, you can see how many toads are cheering for you, and the idea is to get as many of those as possible. Now you can die, and you have an unlimited amount of lives, but it will reset you back. So now you can see there is the coin rush mode. So you basically run and try to collect coins in a much more chaotic fashion, kind of like if you have a star in most Mario games. As you can see, we finished here. So at the end here, it will tally up your scores, basically you against your opponent, and see how many points you got. At the end, you'll get a final tally, and all of the toads will go to the winner. So as you can see, I lost, so he gets all of my toads, and I lose everything I collected. Now you will actually lose toads from your kingdom when you lose, and you will gain them when you win. So that's basically how you resupply your kingdom. So you see I lost 11 red toads from my kingdom, and this is basically how you gain toads, because that's one of the ideas of the game, is that all of them have been scared away, so you're trying to get new people to move back into your kingdom. So now unfortunately it's not currently out for Android. Nintendo has said it will be coming out in 2017 sometime, which is fairly vague, but you do know you're going to get a release at some point. Now as far as you Windows Phone users, just throw your phone away, please. It's not worth the pain. Austin Evans just put out a video recently showing off a $150 iPhone, and there are a plethora of cheap Android options. Just please, do yourself a favor. So as you can see, this game is very much Nintendo, but at the same time very well adapted for a smartphone. In fact, it really seems like they've gotten as close to a console game as Nintendo feels comfortable releasing, and not trying to take away from the DS market, or even the console market for that matter. Now, in a lot of ways, this is exactly like any other Nintendo game, in the sense that Bowser is much easier if you have a mushroom towards the end. Most levels are very easy unless you try to collect all of the coins, and the music is absolutely fantastic. But they have added in some things that are very mobile inspired, like Toad Rush and the ability to build your kingdom. So let's talk about the price for a minute. as far as I'm concerned, if you go into it looking at it like a really expensive Temple Run clone, then you're going to think it's a bit overpriced. But if you go into it thinking of it as a very cheap Nintendo game, then you'll probably see it as more of a value. As far as if I think it's worth the price, I'd say if you're going to run through it real quick and then give up, it's probably not worth it. But if you're willing to replay the same stage several times in order to get all of the colored coins, then it is well worth the price. Especially since once you pay the one-time fee, you won't be nickel and dimed with microtransactions. So now I would give Super Mario Rush a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Now it is a very good game. It's not one of my favorite games ever, but it is very good. Now I know the price is going to drive a lot of people away, but once you really get into it, it is very nice. I definitely recommend you downloading it and giving that free trial a shot, and considering buying it. If you enjoy it, if you play around with it for a while and really like it, you won't be disappointed. It's not like it's not worth the money, it's just a question of if you're willing to pay it. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider liking and subscribing, as I really appreciate it and it really helps me out. I post new videos every single Sunday, so I'd definitely like to see you back next week. But until then,